Reza Khan, a military officer of humble origins, rose to prominence amidst the chaos that engulfed Iran in the early 20th century. He staged a coup in 1921, eventually becoming Reza Shah Pahlavi in 1925, establishing the Pahlavi dynasty. Deeply impressed by the modernization efforts of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in Turkey, I envisioned a similar transformation for Iran. I aimed to propel my nation into the modern era, breaking free from the shackles of foreign influence and internal strife. My vision was ambitious, encompassing every facet of Iranian society, from the economy and infrastructure to education and culture.
Reza Shah's modernization drive touched every corner of Iranian society. He focused heavily on building a modern infrastructure, including a nationwide railway system and a network of roads connecting the far reaches of the country. This improved communication and facilitated trade, boosting the economy. He recognized the importance of oil and renegotiated the oil concession with the Anglo-Persian Oil Company, securing more favorable terms for Iran.
Education was another cornerstone of Reza Shah's modernization program. He oversaw the establishment of secular schools and universities, challenging the traditional dominance of religious institutions in education. The military also underwent a significant transformation with conscription and modern weaponry.
Despite challenges, Reza Shah's reforms laid the groundwork for a more modern Iran, setting in motion a process of societal transformation. Reza Shah's vision of a modern Iran included a radical shift in the status of women. Inspired by Atatürk's reforms in Turkey, he sought to bring Iranian women into the public sphere, challenging centuries-old traditions. One of his most controversial moves was the abolition of the veil in 1936, known as the Kashf-e-Hijab policy.
These changes were met with mixed reactions. While some women embraced the new freedoms, others, particularly in rural areas, found the changes disorienting. I remember my mother crying, not because she was forced to remove her veil, but because she feared the unknown.
Fatemeh, however, saw the changes as a step towards progress. She enrolled in a teacher training college, determined to contribute to the education of future generations of Iranian women. The backlash, religious opposition and social friction, Reza Shah's modernization project, particularly his social reforms, triggered a backlash from conservative segments of society, especially the Shia clergy.
The unveiling of women in particular was condemned as a violation of Islamic principles and a sign of moral corruption.
The clash between the Shah and the clergy came to a head in 1935 when a rebellion erupted in the holy city of Mashhad. Protests were sparked by a new law requiring all men to wear Western-style hats instead of traditional headwear.
We were fighting for our faith, our identity. The Shah was trying to erase centuries of tradition.
The uprising was brutally suppressed by the Shah's forces, resulting in numerous casualties and deepening the resentment towards his regime. The legacy of progress, a nation transformed. Reza Shah's reign came to an end in 1941 when he was forced to abdicate in favor of his son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, following the Anglo-Soviet invasion of Iran during World War II. His rule, though authoritarian and marked by periods of repression, left an undeniable mark on Iran. His infrastructure projects, educational reforms, and efforts to empower women had a lasting impact on Iranian society. The tension between modernization and tradition that characterized his reign continued to shape Iran's trajectory long after his departure. While his legacy remains complex and contested, there is no doubt that Reza Shah's reign marked a turning point in Iranian history, propelling the nation onto a path of modernization from which there was no turning back.